speak very long at all. This week we're going to talk about time and people that give time to the church and to the greater Christian community. I've asked Deborah Miller and I've asked Ray Beaton to speak to us today. Thank you. Deborah?
Good morning. Good morning. For anyone who doesn't know me, and Barn just introduced me, my name is Deborah Miller, and I have been a member of the First Congregational Church of Yarmouth for 13 years. Hard to believe it's been that long. My husband Don, our daughters Courtney and Chelsea, and I came to visit upon the recommendation of our neighbors, Bob and Julie Royce, and we have been here ever since. We are part of a church family. This church family. Being part of a family is not always easy, but as a family we have the responsibility to love and help one another. In future weeks you will hear about giving of talent and treasure, but for this stewardship moment, I have been asked to talk about giving the gift of time. Therefore, as we have the opportunity, let us do good to all people, especially to those who belong in the family of believers. Galatians chapter 6, verse 10. Time is a most precious resource. How we choose to spend our time takes much thought and consideration. Seeking ways to serve Christ through our church is an awesome responsibility. When we first became members, our daughters were still rather young and participating in Sunday school and other youth activities. So of course the logical first step for me was to become involved in Christian education. I accepted an invitation to be on the board of Christian Ed, attending monthly board meetings, filling in as a teacher for summer Sunday school, supporting the youth in their fundraising efforts, as a Relay for Life team member and chaperone, and later helping out in Vacation Bible School. The most recent opportunity presented in this arena is to offer our trunks for a trunk or a treat this week, and assist in chaperoning the harvest party to follow. Christ said, "Let the little children come to me, and do not hinder them, for the kingdom of heaven belongs to such as these." Matthew chapter 19, verse 14. Although our daughters are grown and have moved away, it's still a pleasure to be part of the children's activities. Being part of a family also means being part of a team. For me, team diaconate, to be exact. Being a deacon was an opportunity to learn much more about how independent self-management of a church works. Not being a lifelong congregationalist, this was quite an eye-opener. The deacons are responsible for everything involving worship preparation. They are also responsible for membership and hospitality, welcoming visitors and working with potential members, and lining up people to provide hospitality during fellowship time. No, it is not by magic that coffee, tea, and food appear each Sunday after worship for fellowship time, but a labor of love by the deacons and many others who offer their time to care for us. Keep watch over yourselves and all the flock of which the Holy Spirit has made you overseers. Be shepherds of the church of God, which he brought with his own blood. Acts chapter 20, verse 28. My current family role is that of Board of Benevolence, where we support our local, regional, national, and international missions with our offerings of DYX certificates, donated items to the local food pantry, and other volunteer and financial support to all of our missions. What fun it is to be part of a committee whose sole purpose is to give away money and help others, rather than having to figure out how to create savings and cut costs. Granted, we do not have an unlimited budget, but it is a very fulfilling calling. Our most recent project has been to be part of both the capital campaign and, for me, the actual build of our Habitat for Humanity ecumenical home and other Habitat homes currently under construction in West Yarmouth. This has been most rewarding. Serve the Lord with gladness. Come into his presence with singing. Psalm 102. Through each of these opportunities, I have, along with the help of others, had the chance to expand my service to our church family and extended community through volunteering in the thrift shop, chairing the table for the all-church fair, leading and attending women's Bible study, helping in the kitchen during the Alpha program, as well as providing meals and fellowship. First as a member of the Overnights for Hospitality team, and then to provide and serve meals as part of the Homeless Not Hopeless outreach. I also had the unique opportunity to represent First Church as our delegate to the National Association meeting a few years ago. Another learning experience. Being part of this church family has benefited me as much as it has those I have served. I have developed much needed skills, knowledge, awareness, and hopefully compassion for those around me, uniting us in a covenant and commitment to life in God's grace, sharing that grace through love and service. It has also given me the strength and desire to move beyond these church walls, to bring others to Christ and pursue personal and spiritual growth, and develop church leadership skills through participation in the ecumenical Walk to Emmaus movement. My dear friend and brother in Christ, Warren Philbrook, has been a true disciple and example of God's love for me, and a wonderful, caring church family member. When I've asked him how he's continued to give and give to us and our community all these years, and always with a smile on his face, he has told me, it's not about me, it's all done in the glory of God. So with that in mind, I hope that as I have seen a need, I have filled a need, and that it is always done in humbleness and with intention of glorifying God. To quote Ephesians chapter 3, verses 20 and 21, "Now to him who is able to do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine, according to his power that is at work within us, to him be glory in the church and in Jesus Christ throughout all generations, forever and ever. Amen." So trust that God has given us everything we need to live a life in grace and service. We all have something to give. I ask that you begin by inviting the Holy Spirit in and prayerfully consider how you will choose to give of your time and fill a need. Thanks be to God, and thank you for your time.
Good morning again. If a father or a mother gives a child an important task for the day, and the child thinks of excuses and reasons for not doing it and shirks that responsibility, the parents are sharply disappointed. They chastise and correct the child. It's easy for all of us to relate to that, isn't it? Whether we're in the role of the parent or the child. God is our Father, and He sits in the same parental role. As Creator, He designed each one of us purposefully to accomplish a task of drawing all the people into His kingdom. Hear what He said in Jeremiah 1, verses 4 and 5. That is God talking to Jeremiah. "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. I appointed you as a prophet to the nations." Jeremiah replied, "Lord, I'm just a kid. Nobody's going to listen to me." And then the Lord reached out His hand and touched Jeremiah's mouth and said, "There, I put my words in your mouth. I appoint you." That theme is repeated with several other giants of Scripture. Moses, Gideon, Jonah. God appoints His children to tasks, and their first response is a lack of confidence and a lack of ability and a lack of desire to undertake the task. He urges them into the task over their objections, and He equips them. and they succeed, big time. It's no different with us. Just as Jeremiah was designed and appointed and equipped by God to carry out an assignment, so are we. Our assignment may not be as dramatic as Jeremiah's, but in our Cape Cod region, it is every bit as important. It's especially important for the folks who are hungry, sick, lonely, struggling with addictions, homeless, and so forth. Perhaps you remember a conversation that occurred between Christ and Peter. Christ asked, "Do you love me?" And Peter answered, "You know I love you, Lord." And Christ said, "Feed my sheep." And he repeated that dialogue 2 more times. And that emphasized the real point. If you love me, feed my sheep. I believe he meant for Peter to feed the bodies, their souls, their spirits, and to bring them safely into the sheepfold. Isn't that the greatest commandment at work? To love the Lord with all your heart, mind, soul, and to love your neighbor as yourself. Isn't that how we should love both God and neighbor? Isn't that God's appointment, just as he appointed Jeremiah? Isn't that God's appointment for First Congregational Church? And as members of this church, doesn't it become our appointment? Our money pledge is an important part of fulfilling the task, but only a part. We also need boots on the ground to do this job. I coined that phrase. More workers like Deborah and Varn are needed to undertake the myriad tasks that keep our church afloat and effective in its mission. Do you know, in the recent Forward in Faith surveys, the most frequently urged improvement for our church was that we increase our outreach program. That was very encouraging news, because that is where we succeed or fail as a church. But it requires not only your purse, but also your feet, your arms, your heart, your time. You will see a list pretty soon of all of the current active outreach efforts at our church that's being prepared now for presentation. Everybody is invited to join at least one of these outreach programs to help expand or improve that service. Or if there are none there that appeal to you, then everybody is invited to start a new one that reflects their own interests and talents. Your commitment of time to the Lord's work will bless you, will bless the receivers and the givers, both in great measure, just as it blessed Jonah, just as it blessed Jeremiah. Thank you.